Alors je laisse la parole à Marwan sans attendre pour une traduction synthétique.
Okay, so Abdelali spoke about the role of the HCI, High Council for Integration, and basically he, with the help of Julien, who's not able to be here today, they've worked on this institution that has been created in '89, and they have tried to understand the role that this institution played in the institutionalization of Islamophobia. Why do we have such a consensus around the idea that Muslims and Islam can be conceived of as a problem? And how did the HCI play its role in the construction of this problem? And what impact does the composition of this council have on the way the council as an institution behaves, operates, and takes decisions? One of the key aspects of the work within the HCI is that over the years they've been able to produce homogeneous categories for describing Muslims and Islam as a social phenomenon. They've been looking at the HCI from '89 to 2012 and also the detailed composition of the members within the HCI, and also their personal experience, their career, their intellectual production, and also the sociological distribution of where they come from as a professional field, as academics or journalists or politics. So there were basically two phases in the history of the HCI. First, from '89 to 2000, and this part of the HCI story can be called basically Islam is an issue, but integration is an ongoing process. I.e., there is a problem with Islam and Muslim. This raises questions, but we believe the integration process is going to do its job. The job that was expected from this integration process is to have Islam as just kind of a peripheral part of this identity, with the reproduced discourse that Islam is some form of a refuge that people seek when they feel a bit sad or desperate, but that there is a search, kind of soul-searching experience, and they find some form of solace in Islam as a refuge, and that maybe it will soon pass, or this kind of thing. '89 was the year where we had our first kind of hijab controversy. At that time, it was indeed a controversy. Completely different from today, where basically the mainstream opinion is that we should basically ban women wearing hijab. But at that time, it wasn't a consensus. So the creation of the HCI at that time was a way, was a mean to shift the discussion from political ground, from opinionated ground, to apparently institutional ground, the field for analysis, the field where we were supposed to be objective and analytical and clear about these issues. And because the first type of sociological distribution within the HCI was mainly coming from the administration, things were looked at mainly from a legal perspective. So HCI was able to think through the questions that they had to solve through kind of a legal paradigm, and that was a direct consequence of who was in the HCI. And at that time there were kind of a diversity, and the typical academic you will find in the HCI would be maybe some of the top sociologists in the country, producing a diversity of opinion, and such diversity that even Tariq Ramadan or other thinkers of this kind would be used to claim a very simple idea, such as Muslims can be at the same time Muslim and European without having these different parts of their identity conflicting with one another, and this was part of the integration process. And the second phase, since 2000, is kind of a transformation of the HCI, but the first transformation is in the composition of the members of the council. In 2002, the right wing, the conservative, the UMP, takes power. So they were then governing the country, and this had an impact in the way HCI was organized. And progressively, we have reintroduced within the HCI explicitly opinionated groups. So we have NGOs, some cultural figures, some political figures, and also a different type of academics. We moved from reference figures within the academic field to proclaimed experts, and this meant that from a methodological perspective, we moved from social sciences that were progressively left aside to the benefit of storytelling. And this storytelling is really potent in the way HCI has been operating since then. We moved from analysis, from study to storytelling, and the main role, if you look at our space in France with the framework of the game theory, basically groups and institutions and the role that they are playing in this game, HCI's role in that game has been to prescribe Islamophobia through institutions, and they've been implicitly reusing the idea that we need to go against political correctness. So this concept that is very valid in the right-wing and right-wing extreme, that there is a taboo with Islam and that we need to go against it, it has been taken on by the HCI. And to do this, there is something that is really central in the whole mechanism. That's the testimonial. So we are going to use the testimonial of a teacher, or of a nurse, of a woman who has experienced something quite negative with Islam or Muslims, and out of this anecdotal fact, we're going to build a proof. So we don't need to have deep analytical studies, because we just have one story, and then we are going to impulse to recommend changes in policy based on one story, because this story becomes central, and everything is analyzed through this storytelling pattern. And to end, Abdul was saying that we also need to understand things from an individual perspective. When we look at the members, we need to understand that in the construction of a Muslim problem, something has emerged, some new kind of incentive. There is a space that has been created around the promotion of this very exclusive idea of laicity, and this means that anyone coming into this type of ideology will have a professional premium. Following this type of ideology will open doors for you to a job, to social and media recognition. It will allow you to write books and follow this without even looking as someone following his own agenda, because you do this for the sake of the Republic, the preservation of our French identity and our model of integration. And that's maybe the one of the key roles that the HCI plays.